As global leaders in video gaming accessories, we take our responsibility to provide well-designed and affordable products very seriously. Our passion is gaming, and our mission is to bring gamers of all levels memorable experiences that enhance the fun and excitement of gaming. Let me tell you a story. 1984. The original Apple Macintosh personal computer went on sale. There was a massive year-long miners' strike in England, and the Indian Prime Minister was assassinated. But there was another significant event that occurred, which will be the main focus of today's video. A company we will call BDA was founded. This company partnered with Nintendo of America to supply promotional products and acquired its first license from Nintendo in 1999. This will be important for later. Fast forward 10 years later, in 2009, and I've graduated from high school. We have an ongoing recession in the US for some reason, and another company under BDA is founded. This company is known as PowerA, aka the ones responsible for my hatred while writing the script. PowerA is responsible for selling most of the gaming accessories consumers would buy at big box stores, online, or anything that's not directly released from the gaming manufacturers themselves. They are arguably the most popular brand due to their ability to supply an insane amount of inventory while being licensed by the three console titans. And if you've seen these brands before, yeah, that's also PowerA. Back in 2020, when the pandemic hit, BDA actually sold PowerA to ACCO, who I don't care to do much research into, but all I know is that BDA must have had some sense knocked into them while they were freaking out about COVID, because they dumped the deadweight known as PowerA, which was a great decision. Actually, I'll be honest, I really only have one gripe with PowerA that I can speak to, and that's because of one specific product. This Abomination, the wireless Gamecube style controller for the Nintendo Switch. This controller is by far the most common controller I see sold for the Nintendo Switch outside of Joy-Cons. Pro controllers are somehow consistently out of stock in 2023, and with the success of Smash Bros. And nostalgic cash-ins of vanilla ROMs Nintendo seems to release when they feel bored, the GameCube controller design is a desired product for the average Nintendo Switch player. This controller is subpar at best, and the most frustrating thing about it is that it's not obvious about the fact that it's trash. It hides its subtlety, going undetected by the majority of people who touch it. But just like a toxic relationship, it's only really when you look closely and spend some time with it that you notice the truth, the monster within. The buttons become stiff and jostle around when pressed, so when you release a button, it can get stuck in the plastic housing, resulting in a signal sent to the game that you're still holding down a button. The shoulder buttons are significantly smaller and positioned in a perfectly straight horizontal cut rather than caressing your finger lovingly like the regular GameCube controller does. On top of that, if it really wanted to be a GameCube controller, it would at least pay attention to the functionality of one. On a regular GameCube controller, these shoulder buttons would also activate as they are being pressed down. Nintendo has been one to always try to design their games with some level of creativity related to their hardware. So when you play Super Mario Sunshine and you're holding these shoulder buttons down as you press them down, it actually correlates with FLUDD. And in Super Smash Bros., your shield will activate as you start pressing this down. But on PowerA's sad attempt to imitate this controller, it simply will not activate until the button is fully pressed down. A lot of wasted real estate if you ask me. Although I may not have video proof of every time this has happened, I've fallen victim of many dropped inputs and inaccurate button presses ranging from snapback issues in the joystick to a jump button getting stuck. I do have some video of this controller acting up though, and I know I'm not the only one that it's haunted, as people in my Discord have sent me videos of doing a simple calibration test where it acted up. Again, unless you've had a relationship with this controller in any way, it may not seem that bad. But that's where the main issue is. The most frustrating thing about this controller by far is not one specific thing. It's that it's good enough. It's an imposter that can live among the community and spread its cancer like an undetected tumor over time. It's just good enough where you don't notice these flaws, but the flaws still happen. And even worse, much like an imaginary monster who haunted you when you were young, it never appears when you try to show others. But you know it's there, and you know it haunts you. Well, I'm here to say that I believe in your monster. I believe that it's real, because I've seen it. I've been on the receiving end of many deaths and frustrations in some of my favorite games that are supposed to be an escape from reality. And while I blame myself, I've realized now, it was my monster's fault the whole time. Well, today, we put a stop to the boogeyman. I know PowerA shouldn't be expected to manufacture a perfect controller, but to have the goal to stamp an official Nintendo Switch icon on the face of this imposter and charge a premium price all because they're licensed? It's insanity. So buyer beware, this is a hunk of plastic that can never live up to the real thing. PowerA could have charged half the price and admitted that this was a tribute piece. We all laugh at Mad Catz controllers for being clearly less superior, but at least they admit it and they don't bear the mark of quality with no intention to live up to it. But no, you tried to pass this off as a viable option worth a premium price tag, PowerA. I'll be honest. This video didn't even come close to turning out as good as I wanted it to. The settings were wrong on my camera for most of it, which I didn't realize until later, and I missed the first couple swings with the hammer for the most part. So I debated even posting this. But then I realized, it's not about this video looking the way that I wanted it to. It's not even about having a satisfying hit the first couple swings. It's about justice being served. It's about revenge. It's about closure. So this video is dedicated to the one controller I've hated the most in my entire gaming life. And to you, controller, this is what I have to say. This video is not a warning. This video is not a threat. This is a death note.
Three, two, one.